Hi everyone and welcome back to today's More Important on Monday the 21st of September with me, Rich Perry, Market Analyst at Hantech Markets. Moving on to dollar yen now, and this choppy chart continues to really make the outlook rather uncertain and rather unsteady. Look at the amount of long tails on these candles, long shadows, small bodies, indicative of rather indecisive trading. Even though you've got a very slight bearish bias to this chart, I mean, the reaction that we've had today, dollar is now strengthening again. So we've had a pretty big turnaround actually since that reaction low of 119, pretty much 119 figure on Friday. So 130 ticks up on that low. So that's a big move. But the momentum indicator is very slight negative bias, but nothing really doing in terms of direction that you can really rely on. And it's a very difficult chart, I think, to really have a proper outlook on for any longer than an intraday view of a few hours, really. I mean, look at the amount of times you get big turnarounds on this chart. You're not really seeing any real trend. Very choppy trading over the past few days. Moving averages all over the place. Momentum indicators fairly much range bound, indicative of a range bound trade, really. So anything back towards 70, you'd be thinking about selling it, maybe. Back towards 30, it's sort of becoming a buy again, and that seems to be what how the outlook is sort of progressing at the moment. That's you've had just a near-term break back above the sort of pivot resistance around 2030, which arguably is a bit of a breakout, arguably a bit of a base pattern, but I don't think you could really call it for much more than sort of back towards that 121 figure area. There's a resistance also at 121.30 to take into consideration, but if back on the daily chart, if you look at this chart, it's so choppy. With the intraday moves, you've got very few sort of decisive candles. I mean, I suppose Thursday's candle was fairly decisive, but again, Friday's candle, big long-legged doji, not decisive in any way at all. You've had this break to the upside today. Whether it lasts or not remains to be seen. I'd be very suspicious of sort of trusting a long position when the RSI gets back towards 70 anyway. So that's my take on this chart. It's a very difficult one to play at the moment, and it's a tricky outlook. So I wish you good luck in your trading today, and I'll speak to you later. Thank you.